We're looking at linear inequalities. We're about to work an application problem here in college algebra, and it's much like the problem that we worked when we were talking about the rental car companies. So even though we're going to be talking about coffee here, these equations are basically the same. Okay, so let's get started. First off, it says the Grifasi Coffee Company is offering a sweet deal this week. If you purchase their signature cup for $10, refills will only cost you 25 cents per cup, whereas a cup of coffee runs $1.95 per cup with no refills. How many refills will it take before the $10 cup will start saving you money? How many refills will it take to save $100? So let's take a look at this. We're going to let's call this plan A and plan B. How's that? That's what we'll do. So we'll say that plan A, we're going to say plan A is you buy a $10 cup, and after that, each additional refill will only cost you 25 cents. Okay, so we're going to let X be the number of cups of coffee. Now, if you buy the $10 cup, which it doesn't really say in here, if you buy the well, I guess it does, refills only. If you buy the $10 cup, you get a refill with it. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to subtract off 1 right here. In other words, if I put 1 in here, so let's say this is going to be my first cup of coffee, and I put 1 in. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times 0.25 is 0, and therefore the total is $10. Now we're not going to add tax on this. It'll be the same if you added tax on. So we're leaving tax off. Okay. So what this represents is the total cost. Okay, so this represents total cost. Let's look at without the deal, what it normally cost. So it says it's $1.95 per cup. Okay, so $1.95 times X, the number of cups. All right. So really what we got going on here, we have plan A, we're calling, and then there's plan 9 from outer space. We'll talk about that later. Okay, for all values of X, that's going to make this a true statement where plan A is less than plan B. Okay, we want to find all values of X to where this is a true statement right here. And we'll make that clear here. What I'm going to do is well, let's just go ahead and set it up. So this is plan A right here. So let's go ahead and do this. But I'm going to work this out so you can kind of see it a little better. It may take a little bit of time, but we're going to work this out. And there's reasons for that. So plan B, and those reasons are coming up pretty soon. Okay, so we want to find all values of X that make this a true statement right here. Okay, but there's only really one value of X that we're interested in, and that's that smallest value that's in this set right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we'll label this column cups, 1 cup, 2 cups, 3, 4, 5 cups. Okay, we'll call this column here will be plan A. And plan A was, remember, 10 plus 0.25 X minus 1. This will become a little clearer here in a minute. And then we've got plan B, which is the $1.95 per cup. Okay, so I've got two columns here, and we're going to compare values. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and plug in 1 into here. Okay, so this is 10 plus 0.25 times 1 minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times 0.25 is 0, and you're left with 10. So remember, okay, this represents the total cost, right? So you get 1 cup, you purchase your first cup, it's going to cost you $10. Then you purchase your second cup. Okay, we're just plugging 2 in for X here, right here. Okay, so that's going to be what? 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times 0.25 is 0.25, so this is 10.25. $10.25. And then 3 cups. Okay, so that, in other words, so this should be what? $10.50, because you're just adding another 25 cents onto this. You see? So this should be $10.50. And we do 4 cups. Okay, so 4 cups. So that should be $10.75. And then we'll do another one here. 5 cups. Okay, this should be an even $11. All right. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, we'll do a 6th cup here, I guess. So what should this one be? This should be $11.25. Okay, because we're just adding a quarter for each cup as we go. All right, let's take a look at this column over here. We'll draw some kind of divider line. Okay, so our first visit, right, it's going to cost us $1.95. Our second visit, okay, so that should be $3.90. So look at here. So $10.25. We've spent $3.90 here. You see that? So as you can see, what's a better deal? Well, this is $10.25, $3.90. Well, this is obviously, if we're just going to get 2 cups of coffee, then that's all we probably want to spend. If not, we're going to spend $10.25. Okay, on our third visit, let's say, what is that going to be? So 3, 4, 5, 90. Okay, doing that in my head there. Right, so that'd be $5.85. And then 195 times 4 on our fourth visit. That's $7.80. On our fifth visit, all right, that's $9.75. So you notice their difference is getting closer and closer here. And then on our sixth visit, right, we got $11.70, it looks like. Now look at here, on our sixth visit, okay, we've spent a total of $11.25. But if we were going to stay with plan B, we would have spent $11.70. Right, so it looks to me like on our sixth visit, we start saving money. But let's look at our fifth visit, $11. Right? Making sure. Okay. $11, whereas we've only spent $9.75. So something happens here between the 5th visit and the 6th visit. So it looks to me like if we were to purchase more than 6 cups of coffee, then we probably need to go with plan A. Okay, does that make sense? Right? If we were to purchase 5 cups or less, we're going to want to stick with plan B. But instead of doing a table like this, what we can do is do this algebraically and solve for x up here in this equation. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's do that. All right. So this was 10 plus 0.25 times x minus 1 is less than $1.95. X. All right. Let's distribute that 0.25 across. So that's 10 plus 0.25x minus 0.25 is less than 195x. Okay, let's look at like terms here. We have 10 minus 0.25, so that's going to be 9.75. Let's go ahead and let's take this over here to this side, or let's subtract 0.25x from both sides. So we're subtracting x from both sides, 0.25x that is. So now we have 1.95 minus 0.25 is 1.7. So 9.75 less than 1.7x. And then we multiply both sides by 1 over 1.7. Right, that'll get those guys to cancel out. So now we have 9.75 divided by 1.7. And that is going to be 5.73. We're going to round this thing here to, we'll just go to 3 decimal places, all right? Okay, so if x is greater than 5.73, now by 5.75, okay, if x is greater than 5. Now we can't have 5.7 7 cups of coffee, okay, but if it's greater than, in other words, we'd have to round that up to 6, and that's what we're seeing here. You see, we got to round that up to 6, and then we're going to be spending a total of 11.25, as you can see. All right. Okay, there was another question that was asked up here. How many refills will it take to save $100? How many refills will it take to save $100? Well, what we'll want to do is, since this price is increasing after 6 cups, we're going to take that and we're going to find the difference. Okay, we're going to find the difference between these two, and their difference is going to be $100. See that? Their difference will be $100. And, or you could actually say their difference is greater than or equal to $100. All right, since we're talking about inequalities here. Okay, so we're looking at their difference, and when their difference, we want to find all values of x such that their difference is greater than or equal to $100. So let's distribute this across. It's going to make that a negative 0.25. Let's go ahead and multiply that 0.25x2 while we're at it. So that's going to make that a negative, and when we distribute that to this minus sign, that'll make that a plus. All right, so let's not get that confused. Okay, let's collect up some like terms. We have 1.95 minus 0.25 minus 0.25, and I get 1.7 again. 1.7, and then we have 0.25 minus 10, and that's going to be a negative, let's see, minus 9.75. Take that over to the right, and I left off the x there. That's a little important, slightly. Okay, so we have 100 plus 9.75. Okay, 100 plus 9.75. So that's going to make that $109.75. Okay, multiply by the reciprocal of 1.7. So we're going to get 109.75 divided by 1.7. And what am I getting here? I'm getting 64.5. I'm just going to round that there. 64.56. Okay, so it looks to me like, okay, so we can't have, we need to round this up to 65 cups is what it's going to look like, or 65 visits, however you want to look at that. Okay, so we'll start saving $100 or more. Actually, it'll be a little bit more than $100. But we're going to have to purchase, we're going to be purchasing 65 cups of coffee. Now, to find that total cost, you would just take this 65 and plug it into here, since this is the one we want to look at. Probably this is going to be the better deal here. Okay, but this is how much you're going to save. All right, if you go with this plan, that was plan A. Okay, that's what you're going to save. That's the reason we took the difference. We're trying to find the difference between plan A and plan B. All right, 65 cups of coffee, and we'll save $100. So this really is a real world plan, and out there in the real world, I have actually used this. And there's been times when I've entered places like Dunkin' Donuts or stuff, and they'll have these kind of deals. And first thing I ask them is, how many refills am I going to need to purchase in order before I start saving money? And I always get the deer in the headlights look. Yep. And so we have to break out the paper napkin and have math class. Okay, well, that pretty much ends this one. This was a long video, but I went into detail on it. And I'll see you in the next section.